Majora's Mask, it's a strange game with all the curses, masks and world destruction. The game is filled with secrets and weird characters, and today we're going to take a look at one of them. Deku Link. Who is he? What's his story? Where did he come from? How did Majora get his hands on his soul to curse Link? It all started at the beginning of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. On a quest to find a friend he lost during his adventures, Link finds himself deep in the Lost Woods. Suddenly, two fairies appear, frightening Link's trusted mount, Epona, and causing her to knock him off, rendering him unconscious. The mysterious Skull Kid appears, and after playing around with Link's ocarina, Link awakens, only for the Skull Kid to escape on Epona. Chasing after him, Link falls into a hollow tree and awakens in a cave, where the Skull Kid turns Link into a Deku scrub and then leaves. With the help of Tattle, one of the fairy friends of the Skull Kid who became stranded with Link, the transformed hero makes his way out of the caverns. Here he encounters the Happy Mask Salesman, who agrees to return him to his original form if he can manage to get back his stolen ocarina. In return, the Happy Mask Salesman asks Link to retrieve Majora's Mask from the Skull Kid, who had stolen it prior to the events of the game. Link investigates Clock Town, the central city of the land Termina in which he now finds himself. In town, Link comes across a stray fairy, which he returns to the Great Fairy Fountain in northern Clock Town. As thanks for returning her to her original shape, the Great Fairy of Magic grants Link the ability to blow bubbles, at the cost of magic. Using the bubble, Link pops a balloon in North Clock Town, impressing Jim, leader of the Bomber's Secret Society of Justice, who had unsuccessfully been trying to pop the balloon. Link plays hide and seek with the Bombers, and while he is not allowed to become a full member, he is granted access to their hideout that leads to the Astral Observatory. Gazing at the moon through the telescope, Link spots a moon's tear falling from it and landing outside. Link trades this to a business scrub in South Clock Town for the deed to his Deku Flower, which Link uses to gain access to the Clock Tower on the eve of the Carnival of Time. He confronts the Skull Kid on the top of the Clock Tower, who attempts to use the power of the mask to cause the moon to destroy all of Termina. Link fails to find a way to stop the Skull Kid, but manages to knock the Ocarina of Time out of his hand. Upon touching the ocarina, Link remembers the Song of Time taught to him by Princess Zelda before he left on his adventure. In his Deku form, the Ocarina of Time takes the form of the Deku Pipes. Link plays the Song of Time, resetting the cycle of time to the first of the 3 days that occur before the moon destroys Termina. Link returns to the Happy Mask Salesman, who teaches him the Song of Healing, a powerful song that heals people's sorrows, turning them into masks. The curse is drawn out of Link, creating the Deku Mask, which allows him to transform into a Deku Scrub and back again at will. So this was all caused by Majora, who cursed Link and turned him into a Deku Scrub. But there's something off here. The masks that cause Link to transform in Majora's Mask all seem to be inhabited by another character's soul. The Goron Mask houses the soul of Darmani, the Zora Mask houses the soul of Mikau, and the Fierce Deity Mask presumably houses the soul of a great god. This leaves the Deku Mask with no real explanation as to how it helps Link transform. But who would it be? When Link first enters Termina, the Skull Kid puts a curse on him, turning him into Deku Link. Soon after, Link stumbles across a twisted tree that resembles a Deku Scrub. Tattle remarks on how the tree looks sad, as well as its physical resemblance to Link's current form. Later, when Link is to receive an item from the Deku Butler, the Butler initiates a race, in which he guides Link through a series of obstacles. If Link is able to keep up with him and reach the end of the shrine, he is given the Mask of Sense. Before Link leaves the shrine, the Deku Butler apologizes for moving too fast. He mentions that when he looks at Link, he is reminded of his son, whom he used to race, and that he therefore forgot to lower his pace. It is possible he's referring to Link's Deku form which he saw previously, as this is the most likely to remind him of a Deku Scrub. Though at the time he makes this statement, Link may or may not be using that shape. Prior to the events of Majora's Mask, the Deku Butler's son lived at Deku Palace with his father. He was said to enjoy racing with his father through the maze-like Deku Shrine behind the palace. He's also said to have often used the Mask of Sense to find mushrooms in the forest. A long time prior to Link entering Termina, the Deku Butler's son left the palace for reasons unexplained, and did not return. During the game's end credits, the Deku Butler can be seen crying next to the Deku-like twisted tree, seen in the caverns underneath Clock Town, which may imply he has finally found his long-lost son. It is possible that when the Skull Kid cursed Link, he somehow infused him with the spirit of the Deku Butler's son, which he may have somehow extracted from his body, leaving him a twisted tree. There are a couple of things which hints towards this, and it gets darker and darker along the way. When Link broke the curse with the Song of Healing, he sealed the spirit of the Deku Butler's son inside the mask. This is further supported by the Deku Scrub statue created by playing the Elegy of Emptiness. It looks notably similar to the Twisted Tree and different from Link's Deku form. It has 3 leaves on top instead of hair, for example. The statues of Link's other forms in 2 cases resemble the physical forms of the spirits sealed inside the masks. So in the end, Link finds peace with the curse during the Song of Healing cutscene, but we don't see the Deku Butler's son anywhere. If we look at the other 2 masks, we can see that those spirits find rest. But we don't see this with the Deku mask. So this would probably mean that his spirit is trapped in the mask and he doesn't find any peace after all. He is trapped in the mask forever and always, tortured and never to be seen again. Well, that's up to you to decide. Thanks for watching everybody, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to check out my other videos and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date.